भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम। Mantra number 1, we'll start with chanting. Avissannihitam guhacharam nama. Avissannihitam guhacharam nama. Mahatpadam atraitat tat samarpitam. Mahatpadam atraitat जानथ सदसद्वरेण्यं परं जानथ सदसद्वरेण्यं परं विज्ञानात् वरिष्ठं प्रजानां विज्ञानात् वरिष्ठं प्रजानां। Last time I discussed in detail what is Sahajatadatmya, what is Agnanajam Tadatmyam, and what is Karmajam Tadatmyam. Antahkaranam or Sukshma Sharira being what it is, it as though partakes the Chaitanya. In other words, even though it is Jadam, it is made up of Sukshma Panchamahabhutas. And this Sthula Sharira is made up of Sthula Panchamahabhutas. Panchamahabhutas being Jada, inert, both of them are inert by nature. But then Sukshma Sharira, primarily Antakarana, manifests the consciousness which is formless, which is attributeless, in a given form of Antakaranam as a conscious Chaitana. Like even the light of the sun is formless, attributeless, but a given mirror manifests the light, sun, and the sunlight in a given form with given attributes. Antakarana is connected to, or Sukshma Sharira, whole is connected to Sthula Sharira because of karma. Karmajam Tadatmya. That manifestation of consciousness in Antakaranam gives rise to a status of the consciousness as a knower. That limitless consciousness, which as though obtains in Antakaranam, which as though is reflected in the Antakaranam, or as though conditioned by Antakaranam. These are the words Chidabhasaha, Chit Pratibimbitaha, Chit Parichinnaha, is as though reflected, etc. That consciousness gets the status of knower, doer. It becomes karta, bhukta somehow. that becoming karta and bhokta is agnanajam tadatmam maya karyam. The tamo pradhan, vishuddha, that maya we have discussed in Panchadashi. That is natural. Don't ask me how and why and where does the maya came. That answer itself is maya. Maya is something for which there is no answer, where it came and how it came. It's an ontological word. That also we have discussed in detail. That is a sahaja tadat, obtaining of consciousness in antahkarana. You cannot avoid consciousness being all pervasive. Wherever there is antakaranam, sukshma shariram, there will be reflection of consciousness, like a mirror in the sun in a daylight. But to take that obtaining sun somehow takes itself to be limited to the size of upadhi, that is agnanajam tadat. Sahaja tadatmya gives rise to kartrutva, bhoktrutvam, pramata. That pramata takes itself that I am really parichanna. I am really a pramata. It is not aupadhikam. It is not incidental. That status is real. Taking oneself to be real pramata is agnanajam tadat, caused by ignorance. And this being anadi, and there are karma as karma phalas, jivatma is a traveler, and therefore as for the karma phala, it absents the gross body. The connection between sukshma sharira and stula sharira is karmajam tadat. Now what is moksha? Moksha is knowledge. Gnana devatu kaivalyam. Knowledge alone is moksha. Knowledge cannot do anything, cannot produce, nor it can destroy. It can produce or not, if at all it can destroy ignorance. And knowledge being in opposition is opposite to ignorance, destroys this self-ignorance, because of which that obtaining consciousness, that pramata, takes itself to be parichinna. The status of parichinnatvam being real is destroyed. The one recognizes that I am parichinna is incidental. It is aupadhika. What kind of recognition? That there is a pramata is sahaja. But pramata taking itself to be real is agnanaja. Knowledge destroys only that much, not kartrutva, bhoktrutva per se. It doesn't destroy the pramata. Exactly like a king on a stage taking itself to be really a king. In the light of proper understanding that what a king is, it's a role. And I am not in really a king. That person continues to play the role of a king. So kingship may continue. Kingness may continue as per the role, need of the role, demand of the role. So also pramata will continue after the knowledge. Karta, bhokta will continue. Whenever antakaranam is there, you cannot stop the knower. You cannot stop the knowerness. It is there. When the knowledge takes place, the reality of pramata is removed. But that means agnanajam tadatmyam is removed. Now the karmajam tadatmya means association of gross and subtle body is born out of karma. And therefore, till the prarabdha comes to end, this tadatmya continues. When the prarabdha ends, that tadatmya with a given body goes, ahankara not being there, that real jivatma not being there, sukshma sharira as though precipitates, as though dismantles, as though dissolves into pancha mahabhutas. And sukshma sharira not being there anymore, sahaja tadatmya also comes to an end. This is the prakriya. Just understand for the sake of understanding. And it is necessary in a way because all these discussions comes in Prakarana Granthas, which we could have studied before starting the Upanishad, but we studied only two, the Toboda and Upadesara, where these discussions are not there in detail. Tadatma is threefold: Sahaja, Agnanajam, and Karmajam. Gnanena Agnanajam Tadatma Nishyati, Prarabdha Kshaye Karmajam Tadatma Nishyati, Prarabdha Kshayat Sukshma Sharinam Vinashyati, Tasmat Sahaja Tadatma Vi Nasti. As long as the Jivatma resides in this gross body, so long as Panchamahabhutas are held together in this form, human form, male form, female form, whatever. Moment Ahankara is out of this body, the Jivatma departs. There is nobody to hold it. So these Panchamahabhutas dissolve into Samasti Panchamahabhutas. Fire, first the thing to go is fire, Agni Deva. The temperature goes. Then slowly Vayu, Jala, Prithvi, all amshas will dissolve. Like ice cube. The water is held in this cube form or ice form or iceberg form because of the temperature. Moment the temperature is gone, it dissolves into water back. Iceberg would dissolve into water. So also the Ahankara, once it leaves the gross body, it dissolves into Sthula Mahabhutas. And at the time of death, Ahankara is not there. It is Abhasa Matra. Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva is only apparent, not real. Apparent Kartrutva is not Ahankara. So that is not there. Therefore, Sukshma Sharira also dissolves into Samashti Sukshma Sharira. And therefore, this Sahaja Tadatma as though vanishes. Okay? So all the three Tadatmyas come to an end. This is moksha. Gnani is mukta at the time onwards, or when one has assimilated or owned up the knowledge that I am a karta, bhokta, and my kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam is incident. Like an actor knows my kingship as a karta bhokta or beggarness as a karta bhokta is incident. That time itself is free. When the play is over and gives up the dress of a beggar or a king, whatever it was, then he becomes totally free. Though we use the word totally free, it was not that he was partially free. He was then also totally free. Therefore, Shastra says, Vimuktascha vimuchyate. The fellow who was already free became free. In a sense, whatever apparent bondage was there, apparent limitations were there, that also are no more there. Actor had an apparent limitations. To act in a certain way, to talk in a certain way, to behave in a certain way with certain tone, etc. All those are no more after death. Now, that consciousness is being discussed again and again. Why it is said again and again? Because it is very, very subtle. Self-knowledge being subtle, you require a very subtle intellect. Because self is subtle. Here it is says, Anoho Aniyan. It is very subtler than subtlest. That being a case, it is being talked again and again. See, previous section, it was said, Divyo Hyamurtah Purusha. That's how it began. Before that, Yattadadreshyam Agrahyam. That's how it began. Talking about the self or Brahman as Divya Amurta. Then it says Adreshyam Agrahyam, that which is beyond any comprehension, etc. Each section begins with a word which points or reveals the nature, Swarupa of Brahman. Here also it starts like that. Avissannihitam guhacharam nama mahat padam atraitat tat samarpitam ejat pranat nimishat chayadetat janatha sadasad varenyam param vignanat varishtham prajana tadetat janatha. May you know that. May you discover that. May you own up. That is your fact. What? Yat archimat, yat avihi, yat anubhyaha anuhu, cha mahataha mahat, that which is bigger than the biggest, that which is subtler than the subtlest, yat pranaha, that which is prana, that tadetat satyam, that is satyam, that is amrutam, tad vedavyam, tad laksham, tadetat janatha. Please understand how it is further. Sadasat swarupam varenyam vignanat param varishtham. All these words reveal the nature of the self, reveal the nature of Brahman. Which self? Remember that aksharam. Asa para yaya tad aksharam adigamyate. This is Paravidya, by which you come to know Aksharam Brahman. Which Aksharam? Yathornanabhi srujate ghrannate cha yatha prathivyam aushadhaya sambhavanti saryatha satah purushat keshalomani tatha aksharat sambhavati ha vishwam. Aksharat sambhavati ha vishwam. From that akshara, this Vishwa has come about, is produced. That means Jagat Karanam Brahma. That Aksharam Brahma. That Aksharam Brahma, knowing which Sarvamidam Vignatam Bhavati. That's how the question started. Kasminnu Bhagavo Vignate Sarvamidam Vignatam Bhavati. The teacher said, knowing which Paravidya. What is Paravidya? By which you know Aksharam. So Akshara is that knowing which you know as though you know everything. Akshara is something by which you know that is Jagat Karanam Brahma. That is Aksharam. Tad vidhi etat janat yat etat tad janat. Je aaj jo ye hai, that which is this, you please understand. In fact, in a way, this itself is Mahavakya. Yad etat tat. That etat is this, is tat that. Means that is this. Okay, in the mantra, you just look at the mantra. Avihi sannihitam mahaguhacharam nama mahat padam atraitat samarpitam ejat pranas nimishatcha. Then it is what? Yat etat tat. This is Mahavakya. Yat etat. That which is this is tat that. So this is that. Tat tvam asi. But this itself is Mahavakya. Yad etat. And that you know, may you own up, may you understand. And what it is, there is a word indeclinable word, Nama. First line, Avisannihitam Guhacharam Nama. Nama means that which is well known. Why well known? That which is well revealed in the Upanishads. That which is revealed in all our Shastras. That which is the essence of all the teachings. That is called Nama. I would like to remind you, by the way, again, the whole purpose, the objective, or as they say in American jargon, the bottom line. What is the bottom line of all the teachings? The bottom line of all the Shastras is only this, that you are Brahman. Hindu Dharma, Vedic vision is meant to convey you this. That is the purpose of Upanishad. That is the purpose of Gita. That is the purpose of Brahma Sutra. Even that is the purpose of all Puranas. Whether it is Bhagavatam or Ramayanam, and that is the purpose of even history, Ramayana, Mahabharata. They are meant only to reveal that you are that Brahman. That's all it is. That is the vision. Hindu Dharma, though even our Supreme Courts and so many Mahatmas say Hindu Dharma is a way of life. This is nonsense. Hindu, and they wanted to dismantle Hinduism. There was a conference in Canada a couple of months ago, sponsored by some of the universities. Dismantling Hindutva. You cannot. Hindu Dharma is nothing but vision of truth. And that is you. And that abstract noun is Hindutva, Hindu and Hindutva. How can you dismantle the truth, which is you? How can you be destroyer of yourself, which is absolute truth? You cannot destroy infinity. Anyway, and that was going on. The people not understanding what is Hindu and what is Hindutva, they wrote like this, and those who were defending also did not. Therefore, anyway, let me come back to this. That which is well known. Hindu is a vision of truth. Who is a Hindu? Hindu is a one who is committed or who lives a lifestyle to reach or to own up the vision of truth. Hinduism, they say way of life, but way of life itself is not an end. Hindu way of life is a means that the way of life should lead you to the vision of truth. In fact, to be more specific, Hindu way of life in a way doesn't lead to the vision of truth. Hindu way of life leads to that frame of mind, that inner infrastructure, that you gain that infrastructure, whereby there is a desire for moksha. And in a technical jargon, Hindu way of life gives you Shuddha Antakaranam, Ekagram Antakaranam, the Antakaranam which is free from Ragat, Mala and Vikshepa. And in that mind, in that Antakaranam, Jignasa comes out, Mokshecha comes out. The fruit of Shuddha Antakaranam is Viveka. And culmination of Viveka is Vairagya. And ultimate Vairagya, ultimate destination of the or achievement of Vairagya is Mokshecha. So way of life gives you Mokshecha and Vairagya. Vairagya and Mokshecha. Vivek, Vairagya and Mokshecha. And what gives you moksha is knowledge. That is a vision of truth. Knowledge is vision of truth. So Hindu Dharma is vision of truth, and therefore you can also say Hindu Dharma is knowledge of truth. That's all it is. Gnanam eva moksha. Knowledge is moksha. Because you discover that is Gnana Swarupa. And so way of life is that. All Varnashram Vyavastha, all other system in Hindu culture is meant for this. The model is meant for this. Anyway, therefore it is says Nama, well known, famous. All Hindu, and by the way, therefore the right name for Hindus is Bharatiya. This country is called Bharata. Bhayam rataha janaha nivasanti sma yasmin pradeshe sa Bharat. The place, the land where people committed to knowledge live, that land is Bharat. Which knowledge? Brahma Vidya. Which knowledge? Atma Gnana. For Bharatiya, not Indians. And that is American problem. I mean British. But Bharatiya, Bha means knowledge. Light, Prabha, Vibha, etc. words we use. That means effulgence, knowledge. Where the people are committed to knowledge, that land is Bharat. Okay? So our goal of life was knowledge. We lived a life for knowledge, to gain the knowledge. Ultimate goal is moksha. Anyway, we continue with this. That nama, that which is known, well known. Yat etat janat, may you know. What is that? And all the words. Yat archi mat. Archihi means prakash, light. Remember, when you say the word light or prakash, it doesn't mean like sunlight or moonlight, etc. See, this is where you have to see the implied meaning. This is where you need teaching. This is where you need a teacher, Shrotriya Brahmanishta. People take all those things so literally and they start meditating and tell that I saw the light, and Guru tells you should see the light. And there are stages. Oh, he comes out of meditation and says, now I see a light, sir. He said, what color it was? Very light greenish. Continue meditation. Then after some time, so many months of meditation, fellow says, sir, I saw green light. Oh, you are now closer to consciousness. Then comes yellow light, and then comes full radiant sunlight. Radiant sun like moon, sun, etc. He comes out of meditation of 12 years, constant practice of meditation. And Guruji says, now you're realized. If Swamiji were here, he would say, idiot, don't waste 12 years. Go to any street crossing, you will see green, yellow, and red lights 1,000 times in a day. You don't need to meditate. It is not light. It is in the sense of knowledge. Self-revealing thing is called knowledge. Avihi. Okay? So it is not nature, it is incidental nature. That which is of the nature of light, that means known. We see, because of which things comes to light. Things are lighted up because of which. How? Because that consciousness manifesting in Antakaranam as Chetanta, then sense organs and etc., there is a possibility of gaining knowledge. They say, throw some light on this subject. Means enlighten us on this subject. Means give us the knowledge. So avihi, the consciousness which is self-revealing, that it is, to know it is, You don't require agency of any other means of knowledge. That is light. I am, that I know. Mobile in front of me, or computer in front of me, or text in front of me, or pen or paper, or my table or my home, I need some other light. Light of the sun and the moon, or whatever it is, electricity. In over and above, I see the light of the eyes. Jyoti, Chakshu Jyoti. You need eyes to see that. And even if there are eyes, you need a mind behind it to see that and know it. So you require mind, sense of perception, and external light as well to know a given thing. I am. You don't require anything. That is self-effulgent. Self-effulgent means I am and I know I am. With or without eyes. With or without sunlight. I don't need anything. I am, I know. So that is called Yat Archimat, which is in the form of light itself. Okay? So it is the light because of which everything has a capacity to light up. Chakshusas chakshu, srotrasya srotram, etc. That is the consciousness. Anoho aniyanscha. That which is subtler than the subtle. Subtler than a subtle means what? It is atoms and particles, protons. That are the subtlest thing as far as we know. And it is subtler than them because that they are known in the light of consciousness. Even a knowledge of something, even suppose tomorrow something they discover which is subtler than the particles, even that is known in the light of consciousness, therefore it is called Anoho Aniyan. And Cha, bigger than the big. It is bigger than the big. Why? It is said, it says, as Anoho Aniyan Sannihitam. Okay? That which is that consciousness, what it is? Saha Pranaha. So that's a Prakriti. So any Sanghata, any assembly is sustained because the prana goes up and down. The breathing takes place. And the sapranaha, prana means that which is the cause of breathing to take place. Because of which the breathing is possible. Saha pranaha. Okay? And not only prana, the activities of all the sense organs. What? Nimishatcha, ejatcha. Nimishat means movement of the eyelids. Ejat, that is any other kind of movements of the senses of action. All those movements is because of whom? That consciousness. It enlivens the mind and the karanam, and thereby through all gross body and all other sense organs, it is enlivened, enlightened by that consciousness. Tadejat nimishatcha sadasat. Please understand. Sat and asat, both. What is sat? Sat here is murta, with a form. It is a form. And asat, which is amurta, nirakara. Both ways, it is with the form as well as formless. Fire, water, and earth has a form, whereas Vayu and space, Akasha, doesn't have a form. That means it is Sat as well as Asat. So all five elements, fundamental elementals, is nothing but that consciousness of the Sat Param. It is Swarupam. Okay? So without which there is no Sat or Asat. Therefore it is Sat Param, beyond. Or you can say Varenyam. Varenyam means most adorable, most worshipful, most sought after. Ati Sundaram, Varenyam. Varenyam means Sharanyam. That which it is a place where you can surrender, or ultimate goal, that which is the Vishaya of Moksha Purusha. Chaturtha Purusharthasya Praptavyam. Ultimate goal to be achieved by the last Purushartha. This is all called Varenyam. Okay, listen. In Gayatri Mantra also this word occurs. Tat Savitur Varenyam Bharga. That mantra can be interpreted for consciousness, Nirguna Brahman and Saguna Brahman as well. Saviti, who means Surya, you can say. Surya is a pratyaksha swarupa of Virat or Hiranyagarbha, and therefore we Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Ityadi. But when you say it as a Nirguna swarupa, that Varenyam is consciousness. Bharga, effulgence, consciousness. Okay. Then it says Vignanat Param Tat Savituhu Yadetat Jana Sadasad Varenyam Param Vigna. It is beyond all knowledge. Beyond all knowledge means what? Whatever means of knowledge you have, and whatever knowledge you gain, objective knowledge, it is beyond that knowledge. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Arthapatti, Upapatti, Anupalabdhi, Ityadi, Shabda. No means of knowledge can reveal it. Well, there is no need. It is self-revealing fact. It reveals itself. To reveal the pen, existence of pen, I have to show you. You need a camera, you need Wi-Fi, you need pen here, light in the here on my side, which lightens up the pen. But to need to reveal myself, you don't need anything. I am self-evident, self-reflecting, revealing fact. And therefore, Vignanat Param Varishtham Varatamam. Varatamam means Varaniyam, sought after. The most sought after means what? The ultimate end, or the end which every human being is seeking. And our dharma reveals that end, therefore it is Sanatana. It has nothing to do with the faith, your object of worship, your object of prayer, whatever it has nothing to do. Why? Because those faithful fellows have problem. Our God is only God. That's another thing. They all say in these conferences when I go, oh, we believe in one God. Okay, you believe in one God. But my God is only that one God. And unfortunately, everybody says my God is that one God. So how come there are many gods? They don't have an answer. Anyway, so whatever is your faith, we are talking about of the truth that is you, that is Ananda. Therefore, it is Varishtha, most sought after. The ultimate sought Vastu. The bottom line of all seeking is Sukham. Or you can say fullness. That's what I want. Fullness means sense of being complete, sense of being sufficient. That is what I want. And till that is achieved, there is a pursuit going on. The success in life is not in achieving this or that, not in managing this or that, not even in gaining certain power and position and certain recognition, etc. That's not success. Success of life lies in what extent you accept yourself. To what extent you are acceptable to yourself in your own perception. To the extent that I don't accept myself, I sometimes condemn myself. There is self-loathe, very low self-esteem. That is failure, you can say. You are not even closer to success. The real success in life is even relatively, I accept myself with my limitations and my failures and my omissions and commissions. And when you accept yourself, the self-acceptance that gives love. In other words, one should love oneself. Then only you can love somebody. The fellow who doesn't accept, or fellow or felly, whatever it is, who doesn't accept himself or herself, there is no love. There is self-loathe and sometimes self-condemnation and sense I am useless and I am nobody and blah, blah, blah. And there is a blame game because I am nobody, I am useless because of father and because of mother or because of spouse and ultimately because of my prarabdha. And lastly, Bhagavan, I kept praying you, but you didn't change the prarabdha. And I don't deserve this, and therefore I have this. That grumbling fellow, non-self-loving fellow, how can he or she love somebody? And they propose with a rose, I am incomplete without you. Idiot, you will be incomplete, double incomplete with you. Because that felly also is incomplete. How can two incomplete make a complete? How can two finite make infinity? It doesn't work. Success is I accept whatever it is. That doesn't mean I vegetate. You act. Bhagavan has given hands and mind to act. You are supposed to act. But act out of self-acceptation, not self-grumbling and self-loath and self-pain and self-dissatisfaction, discontentment, very low self-esteem. No, this is how it is. Full stop. Then life is a successful living. Anyway, this Sadasad Varenyam is what Varishta, the most sought after. I want that sense that I am complete. That is what is most sought after. Any situation or any person or any object which gives me momentarily a sense that it's fine, I'm okay, or even that for a moment it makes me non-complaining fellow, non-wanting a change. I accept the world as it is for a moment, for whatever reason. That object becomes most sought after because I am at home with myself. And when I accept myself, when I'm at home with myself, I can accept people and situation as they are. For a moment there is acceptance, it's okay. That sense, it's okay. That sense comes. That is Varishtan, what every human heart wants is complete self. Purnat. And therefore it is Varishtan. Having gained means yasmin vignate sarvamidam vignatam. Or as Bhagavan says in Gita, yallabhat na param labha. That is a gain beyond which there is no other gain. It is fullness. That self-acceptance comes when I am relatively full. Both ways, okay? FULL and FWL. That fool also accepts himself and herself as it is. Sometimes, some fool, in fact, others full don't accept, therefore they have a problem. but little extra full accepts, and therefore he or she lives in their own world. No. Varishta, in spite of imperfections, in spite of limitations, I am okay. That's relative self-acceptance. That is what each one of us want. An absolute perfection. That is you. That absolute fullness is you, and you are full in spite of limitations. This is a contradiction. How can I be complete in spite of incompleteness? How can I be full in spite of limitations? Because you are complete. You are full in spite of limitations, because I know limitations are incidental, not real. That is fullness. That's ultimate success. So we don't talk of Advaita in absence of Dvaita. In spite of Dvaita, there is Advaita. We are not talking of fullness in absence of any limitations or any lack. No, let there be. It is bound to be. But discovering the fact that these limitations, this lack is incidental, is aupadikam technically, belongs to Upadhi, not me, the consciousness, and I am Purna Atma consciousness, Satyam Gnanam, Anantam Brahma Ahamasmi. That is the success. Anyway, therefore, Varishtham, most sought after. Who doesn't want this? Whether a Christian or a Muslim or Jew or a Buddhist want this. And every religion promises that hereafter, except our Sanatana Dharma. It says there is no hereafter. Here and now it is you. You are that. Don't need to go anywhere else. Anyway. So, when relative fullness is not discovered, one cannot discover absolute fullness, which is you. But each one is seeking that, knowingly or unknowingly. Therefore, Bhagavan says in Gita, Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manushya Partha Sarvashaha. Sarvashaha, in any which way they are seeking me, means Purna. Even going to heaven, you want to go to heaven because it gives a sense of self-acceptance temporarily. So they want to go to heaven. All religion promise that only. The difference is we say right now, here and now. They say hereafter. They say that fullness is situational. We say no, just as incompleteness is not situational, it is not real. So also this is not real. All limitations are incidental. In spite of limitations, I am complete. In spite of dukkham, I am anand. That is what the teaching is, Varishtham. And here and now you have to know, not hereafter. In spite of limitations, you have to know. In spite of problems, you have to know, because it is you. And what it is, okay. Tadetat satyam. Shruti says, avisannihitam nama mahatvatam tat samarpitam ejat pranat nimichatsa yadejat janada sadasadvarenyam vignanat varishtham prajanam. The most exalted thing, it is varishtham also. One should know tadetat. This is that. That means that satyam is this. That truth which cannot be negated, because it is absolute truth, and that is you. And that is limitless, both in terms of time, space, and objectivity. Therefore, it is all pervasive, it is everywhere, and therefore it is Satyam. That's Satyam. Tat, what is that Satyam? He says, Vijnanat varishtham prajanam, may you know yadetat janat. May you know that truth. There is one word we have not discussed, guhacharam. It moves in the cave. Which cave? Guha means cave. Cave symbolizes in Shastra, whenever there is a cave word, it symbolizes what? Cave means darkness. It symbolizes ignorance. Just as darkness covers the object, which may be right in front of you. Similarly, ignorance covers the object, which may be right in front of you. Therefore, it says, Praja, it is guhacharam. It is antakarana rupi, rupa guhayam. The antakaranam, which is a cave, as though, because clouded with ignorance, it moves inside. How, which way? Karta, bhokta, rupena. The subject, etc. May you know that. Okay? We'll see next mantra next week. We'll have class next week, 27th and 28th November. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Tomorrow I'll be traveling during